Eddie, good to see you. We are here at Matchroom HQ. Sorry, I couldn't get rid of about laughing. It's almost like shades of the old fight camp here today, but we're here for
I'm
Johnny
not
Fisher
sure what's
presser.
happened. It's like any excuse to have a bit of food in the garden. So, yeah, big presser today. Johnny Fisher, Alen Babic. Alan's obviously boxed here before, as has Johnny Fisher. And although we don't represent Alen anymore, we've got fond memories and opinions of him. He's a real fighter, a tough man. And it's a massive step up for Johnny Fisher. It's a great fight. He's selling unbelievably well. But it's a real test for Johnny at this stage in his career. A brave choice.
Are you expecting some mind games from the Savage today?
Yeah. I think that if you're looking at Johnny Fisher, you're really thinking he hasn't yet had that kind of experience. He hasn't had that kind of fight yet. I mean, there's been fights that have supposed to have given him that. But I think Alen will be Alen today. He's done it in every single fight. It won't be just because it's Johnny Fisher. You know, he gives it the old, I will destroy you kind of thing. And that's one of the reasons that he's great to have on the shows. He's great fun. He's great entertainment out the ring and obviously in the ring as well.
Obviously, the big question is, how are you?
I'm good. I wasn't that bothered.
Come on.
No, honestly. Win, lose or draw, same emotions, you know. I honestly, to be honest with you, I think if we would have won the 5v5, I don't even think I would have mentioned it. So... No, it was, I said to someone, what was the odds of us losing 5-0? Apparently it was 60-1 accumulator for the 5 fights. So, you know, I guess this is, we made the matchups that we felt were pick-em fights. It's quite unusual to lose 5 50-50s, but we did. So I loved it. I loved the whole experience. The concept was unbelievable. The numbers were fantastic, you know, across viewing figures, across digital interactions. And it just sets up for the future. You know, I think the whole point of the concept, and not just saying this because we lost, was that the fights are competitive. Like, he could have given me fights where we probably had no chance of winning, and vice versa. You know, we could have picked, I don't know, AJ, Andy Cruz, Kate, but that's not the idea of the concept. The idea is to sit down and say, we have no idea who's going to win that fight. The fact that it was 10-0 was like, and by the time it got, I mean, I was just clutching straws all night. Obviously, I really expected Craig to beat Willie Hutchinson when that went against us, and then you get, you know, I thought Ray won, but it's a 115, 113 fight either way. And when that goes against you, it's like, then you know Ammo's up against it. He gets stopped, where I'm thinking, just hold on. Because in my mind, you know, I'm such an optimist that I'm thinking, as long as Ammo makes points, we can still win the tournament with 2 stoppages. And then Ammo got stopped, and then we need the 2 stoppages to draw. But in my mind, that's a bank, like, that's happening. And then obviously Hrgovic gets stopped, and it's like, oh, and then Wilder gets stopped. So yeah, it got to the point where it was actually quite amusing. I wouldn't say that I'd prefer to lose 10-0 than lose by a point, but it was a good drubbing. And to be fair, like Frank Warren, I think because we got so much that we're working on, there wasn't a lot of gloating. Most of the gloating come actually from the Queensberry team, of which I think most of them were on your flight.
Yep.
So
it wasn't brilliant. Walked past them in their business class flights, and
we would do the same.
Yeah.
I don't think I would be goading Frank Warren because we got so much. We don't want to fall out, but we would be. You know, I would be looking a lot more smug than I am today.
Just a word on some of the team. Deontay Wilder cut. I think the word that was used backstage after the fight was very frustrated with what happened. I've seen something from his mum in the news, basically urging him to retire as well. Although you work together for that night, it'll be up to him and his team ultimately. But what do you see him do now?
You know, the kind of reaction that I saw from him after the fight was a little bit like, not exactly the same, but you know the frustration of when AJ lost to Usyk in the second fight. It looked to me like a guy that had given everything to training camp and just completely set his focus and his mind on victory, and just like it was a frustration. Do you know what I mean? Obviously AJ performed well against Usyk, but Deontay just didn't look himself. I mean, I've only seen Deontay fight live twice. Once was against Joseph Parker and once was against Zhilei Zhang. And for me, it's difficult to say he's not the same fighter because I've not seen him live. But I think he's the confidence to let his hands go is not there anymore. And that's what made Deontay Wilder what he is. I mean, if you're getting backed up by Zhilei Zhang and you've got the right hand cock, you've got to let it go. And he couldn't let it go. And every time he did let it go, it didn't look like there was the zip that there used to be. So I don't think anyone has the right to say, oh, he should retire. It's like me saying to you, I think you should pack it in. You're done. All right, mate. So, but at the level that you would expect that he wants to box at, I don't think he can perform there anymore. And I think for that reason, it would be a good time if that's what he wanted to do. If he turned around now and said, I'm done, I think that would be a good call. But some people can, he could go on for another 2-3 years fighting at a lower level, but I don't think that's the motivation for him. So, listen, it was great to spend time with him. Nice man, to be honest with you. And I feel for him because I know how much he wanted to win. Like when I saw Malik Scott the next morning, they were so frustrated because they're like, we had a good camp. We really felt like it was going to happen for us. But sometimes when your time's up, your time's up.
The boxing world obviously have wanted to see that fight with AJ and Wilder for so long, and I'm sure if Wilder would have come through that fight, that might have been the talk for the Wembley show. Saw Frank Warren yesterday talking about AJ Dubois. Thoughts?
Yeah, it's definitely in the picture. I mean, we've made no decision yet about who we're fighting next. Obviously, His Excellency would like AJ to headline at Wembley. An all-British fight for the World Heavyweight Championship would definitely be a massive event at Wembley. But no decision's been made yet. And we'll talk with AJ, we'll talk with His Excellency, and we'll see what's next. But, the focus for Anthony is to regain his World Heavyweight Championship. We know that IBF belt, Daniel is now the interim champion. It's very likely that belt would become available. And if it is, and AJ has a chance to win it, that would definitely appeal to him.
What was he saying to you ringside, AJ?
We were just talking about the Hrgovic-Dubois fight and what was happening during the fight. I thought Daniel did really well. Philip just, physically didn't look a threat, Quite heavy-handed early on, but Daniel took buzzed a few times, but just kept walking him down and broke his will, really. And I thought it was a good performance from Daniel Dubois. I think he's a dangerous heavyweight. I think he's overcome that little bit of adversity of the questioning of his heart and his courage, and he's shown that now against Miller and against Hrgovic. And they're two, particularly Hrgovic, that's a top-level win. That's a top 6, top 7 heavyweight victory. And I think now if you're looking at the top 5 heavyweights in the world, you've got Usyk, you've got AJ, you've got Fury, and order them how you wish. And then I think you've got Daniel Dubois, and then you've got
Parker.
Ruiz, Parker. The Parker.
In there too.
Yeah, so Caballero even with a couple of good wins. So the division's thriving, and Daniel, did fantastically well on Saturday.
Some disappointing news for you for the Boots Ennis fight.
Yeah.
Crowley out. What can you tell us?
Yeah, we received an email last night from Cody's team. Quite a nice email in the sense that, in that situation, you can kind of keep the news to yourself and you can go and see another specialist and this and that. They wanted to let us know that it was unlikely that he would be able to fight because he's had an issue with his eye. He had eye surgery, he was cleared to fight. And at the moment, we are close to announcing the replacement opponent. Of course, the show will go on. There'll be a new opponent from the top 15 in the rankings. We'd like to make sure that we can, tick off that mandatory obligation and expect a great fight. And I think an announcement probably tonight.
You mentioned the top 15 there. I was just having a little look just a moment ago. David Avanesian, Gabriel Goyaz Valenzuela, Shakram Giyasov, Eko Usman, all potential
top 15 are you looking at?
The IBF.
Are you?
Or maybe that's the WBC, is it?
Yeah, but you can do your research.
So Box Live have completely. Well, I've set myself up there for failure. We'll have to cut.
You might be right.
We'll have to cut this bit out, Leo.
No, leave it because it's embarrassing for you.
It is a bit embarrassing. Yeah. I could have sworn that was.
Maybe I don't believe Avanesian's in the top 15 in the rankings.
Well,
we should leave this running because I think it's good. It's good for people.
This is good. This is good experience.
Although you are becoming a big time.
This is an egg on face moment for me.
People need to know that sometimes
not everything goes perfectly.
So the IBF rankings, you're right.
I'm right.
Yeah.
Get in.
Am I
actually right?
Yeah. Who did you say?
I said Giasov,
Correct.
Goyaz, Avanesian and Esserman.
Correct. I'm wrong. It's not been a great week.
Get in.
You're going to leave this in now, aren't you?
Well, it was going to come out. No, it definitely isn't.
You can leave it in.
Get in there. Get in there. All options.
So
I'm smiling after that.
The option is they're all options. We have to go down the rankings now and basically decide the best fight for him. I like the Goyaz fight. I think it's a good fight. Shakram Giasov, Avanesian, good fight. So, yeah, have to see. Shit.
Buzzing with that. Maybe do a bit of homework after the press conference today. Just brush up on a few things.
Yeah.
Can you just confirm that Katie Taylor's not fighting in Frankfurt, please? Where did that come from?
No idea. She's definitely not fighting in Frankfurt.
Did you not see that?
No.
All over the news.
Really?
Yeah. Anyone see that? Matt, you back me up on that?
It was in your digest.
It was in the Comms Digest.
What did it say?
Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano in Frankfurt. I think it might have been a mix-up with Brian Peters, is what I've heard.
Maybe. I mean, if they decided to put the rescheduled Mike Tyson fight in Frankfurt, yes. But I've not heard any of that.
It is a big week for you, Eddie. Last week was a big week, but this week's a big week.
Which kind of goes...
I've got one question quickly. We saw that little 5-second promo of you in the garden. How many takes off the chest was that?
First time.
Rubbish. Don't believe it.
Do you know I've had people say to me, can you actually play football?
Can you?
I don't know. I used to.
Right.
I mean... So, on Thursday, we check into the training camp for Soccer Aid. And we train like twice a day. And that's when the reality is going to hit about my ability. Do you know what I mean? I don't think I've ever been nervous for anything in my life that I do. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'll be nervous for a fighter or something like that, but I don't get nervous. I'm very nervous about Soccer Aid.
Do you think you'll start?
No, I really hope not. I'm going to ask for 10 minutes at the end, up front.
You can't bottle it. This is a big moment.
There's 70,000 people watching me play football. I don't mind if there's 70,000 people watching me do a press conference.
Stamford Bridge doesn't hold 70,000.
Isn't it? What is it? 60?
I think it's about 35, 40.
Is it? No. Is that all?
40.
Oh, I'm pulling out.
But like, when you look, Harry Redknapp is the manager. Frank Lampard is involved. You went to school with Frank Lampard.
Well, when Frank Lampard sees me on the team sheet, he's going to go, oh, what? Because I was the year below him at school. He knows that I have no ability at football. So.
And obviously Bellew's in goal, which we spoke about. Have you said anything to him yet?
No, but look, in my, you know how deluded I am. In my mind, I'm going to score the winner with a bicycle kick volley from the corner of the box with 2 minutes to
I can imagine him being quite good, Bellew, in goal.
You reckon? He's a lump, isn't he?
You wouldn't want to clock.
But in my mind,
from the corner.
I scored a winning goal, and England win.
Make sure you. What was it? ITV.
Yeah.
Make sure you tune in ITV Sunday night. Watch the big man up front in Soccer Aid, all for a great cause. Of course, just a couple of other bits of news I want to get to you. Leigh Wood. What is the latest on that?
Still talking. We wanted to make that for August 24th. Leigh Wood wasn't ready for that date. So we've got a couple of options for Josh Warrington that we're looking at, but I would still like to make Wood Warrington. October could be a possibility, but we'll see.
Joe Cordina?
Moving up to lightweight, I believe. I'll be catching up with him and Tony Sims. And wants a big fight at lightweight.
That was a special night, wasn't it? 2 years ago, yesterday?
Yeah.
Agawa.
Unbelievable.
Flown by that.
You know.
Flown by. And Catterall Prograis, saw Regis coming out on social media asking for that fight in Saudi.
Yeah, it won't be in Saudi. We are looking at Jack potentially returning at the end of August in Manchester. Regis Prograis is definitely a name that we like. So is Arnold Barboza. It's a fight that could put Jack into a mandatory position. So watch this space, but working on Jack Catterall's next fight date as we speak.
Eddie, a pleasure as always. Enjoy the press conference, and I'm going to go and do my homework. Maybe you should
I've had a stinker.
finish off.
I think you should take that bit out.
So good.